The Burning Truth with Casey Hendrickson.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to The Burning Truth. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Well, one of our very own was on stage and gave a nice speech. He said some things that I think you probably heard people like me say before. Congressman Jim Banks is joining us. Congressman, how you doing?
Hey, Casey, good to be with you.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm a little hurt, though. I want you to know, like, my feelings, because I'm a soft, emotional guy, are little hurt because you called my friend Buck Sexton one of the greatest ever, and you've never said that about me. And that makes me a big sad. No, I said no. They are a great team.
He was at my birthday party, so I had to shower on love and
Buck
let
is
him know
so
that in northern Indiana we are big Buck Sexton fans.
Buck is such a good dude, and people ask me a lot about him and how similar he is to the person. He is literally the same guy. Although Clay Travis I've not met. I mean, we've been in like similar circles, but I hear that Clay Travis ordered an appetizer of Brussels sprouts for an entire table recently and offended a lot of people by doing it because apparently he didn't ask. He's like, everybody have Brussels sprouts. And it's like, I don't know if I can hang out with that guy anymore. But
Well, I'm secretly a fan of Brussels sprouts, but I probably wouldn't show that off in front of a big table of people. So
keep that in the closet. Yeah, we'll edit this out of it.
Right.
Yeah, we'll edit it out. That can hurt your Senate campaign. So you had a very good speech. I like the line about no wimpy Republicans. Like it's not time for wimpy Republicans because I agree with you. I've been saying go on offense for years. Unfortunately, we have a lot of squishy, wimpy Republicans everywhere. And, you're basically kicking off your Senate campaign. Obviously you've been running for Senate, but that's kind of like a big national introduction to what's happening. And then you've got Trump's speech after the assassination attempt. We had Congressman Yakim in here earlier this week talking about the investigation, some of the questions that he had. I wanted to kind of get your take because you and I haven't been able to speak since.
Well, first of all, we're all glad the president's safe. I had a chance to speak with him a handful of times this week and sit with him for a while on Tuesday night in his box and let him know that in Indiana we have his back and we're praying for him and we're glad that he's safe. But, what was incredible last night in his longest speech in convention history, I know he's always trying to break records, and he broke another one last night with the length of his convention speech. Not one time has he gone after the Secret Service. It's been just the opposite.
Yeah.
He tells the country that he appreciates the work of the heroes who keep him safe. I feel the same way about the Capitol Police every day. He's not going to go after the Secret Service, but I'm going to do it for him because the Secret Service let our former president down, let the American people down with huge lapses, mistakes that were made on Saturday, and we demand answers for it. It's just crazy to me, Casey, that the director of the Secret Service was at the Republican convention.
I was blown away by that.
In a convention box. Just really crazy. I mean, I was there when all this happened with Senator Marsha Blackburn and Senator Barrasso going to confront her because she's refused to answer the very basic questions that we have as members of Congress with oversight authority of her agency of how the hell did that happen? I mean, a gunman on a roof, people in the public were pointing it out, saying there's a man up there with a gun. The Secret Service is blaming local law enforcement. Local law enforcement is deferring to the Secret Service. Lots of questions here that we demand answers for. Let me tell you my last thought on that. I do not trust the FBI to investigate this. Yeah. I do not trust anyone in the Biden Department of Justice to investigate what happened on Saturday night. I believe we need a select congressional committee and investigation to dig into it, to demand answers. We need to hold people accountable. And the Secret Service director needs to She wasn't qualified to begin with. She's turned the Secret Service into another woke agency that's more interested in filling quotas for the number of women and minorities in Secret Service roles when it should never be about that. They let our president, our former and future president down. They let the American people down too. She should resign for it.
Yeah, I was blown away that she showed up at the RNC. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, and people had the same reaction to that. So Donald Trump gives his speech, though, and in the middle of the speech, people are in the media, have covered a lot of these conventions. Congressman, we all kind of noticed something. I've never seen a better final day of any convention, Republican or Democrat, even going back to 2008. with the Obama stuff. This is the best put together final day that I think that I've ever seen. And it was captivating. And as we were sitting here watching it, even before Trump took the stage, you were watching more and more Democrats come out and go, Biden has to get out of this thing. Like, there's no way you recover from this. The DNC can't do anything that competes with this. I mean, in addition to some of the stuff that we heard, and we'll get into the content of the speech, are you kind of getting the same reaction around Capitol Hill that people are like, yeah, this is so good. This is such a slam dunk that there doesn't appear to be a way that the Democrats can actually get out from underneath this. Yeah,
Donald Trump broke Joe Biden and the Democrats at the debate, which was a few weeks ago now. Then what happened on Saturday happened. Truly an act of God saved the life of my favorite president, Donald Trump. He said in his speech very emotionally, I shouldn't be here tonight. And the crowd chanted, yes, you should, spontaneously. And then he said, no, I shouldn't. Only by the grace of God am I here. And it was a moving moment. Mm-hmm. But the whole week, I mean, it wasn't just last night. The whole week did not feel like a political convention to me. It felt like something bigger than that. And I think everyone on the floor of the convention felt strongly that we are a part of something bigger than the Republican Party. We're a part of something bigger than Donald Trump. This is history in the making, and everyone at the convention felt that. I think people at home felt that. The unity in the Republican Party. I mean, Republicans are always, my grandpa always said, why do Democrats always stick together and you Republicans always fight with each other? And it's exactly I wish my grandpa was still alive to see this moment today. This Republican Party is more unified than it's ever been in my life behind the ticket of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and getting the job done this November because there's so much at stake. And you felt that every single day of the convention. It was such an honor to go up on that stage and speak briefly myself, to spend time with President Trump, and to see him take the stage last night. I mean, on another personal note, I mean, my childhood hero, Hulk Hogan, of all people, going up on the stage and bringing the house down. That was so cool. And then Kid Rock, my man Kid Rock, up there as well. Although the whiplash from Kid Rock to Franklin Graham, of all people,
I know, right?
It was a great back and forth. But the whole week, it was so well done. Casey, Anne Hathaway from the state of Indiana planned that convention. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. She's our national committee woman, mm-hmm. Formerly the state party chairwoman. She planned that convention, and she did one heck of a job. It was a great convention. And my last note, I'm sorry to ramble, but
no problem.
What they did to bring real people on the stage, I mean, the most powerful moments weren't politicians speaking. It was real people telling real stories about what the Biden agenda has done to hurt them, to hurt their family, whether it's fentanyl killing their kids, the families of those 13 heroes that lost their lives in Afghanistan was the most powerful and emotional and moving moment I've ever seen at a political convention, to hear from them and talk about why they want Donald Trump to be back in the White House to make us proud again of our country, to show strength for America. Those were the most incredible moments of the week.
I want to ask you a little bit about J.D. Vance, because there's some similarities between your early political career and his early political career. The Democrats have brought up that, you weren't exactly sure about Donald Trump early on, and J.D. Vance was a known critic of Donald Trump early on. You've obviously become one of his staunchest supporters. You just called him your favorite president. J.D. Vance says that he's seen through the media lies about Trump and he's gotten to know the man, and that's why he stands where he's standing today. Can you just kind of comment on that with people out there who might still be going this line of, oh, he hated Trump and now all of a sudden he's a VP and he likes him? Because there really was a shift a long time ago. They're just trying to make it seem more recent because of politics.
Yeah, I mean, this is J.D. Vance is such a great pick by Donald Trump for a lot of reasons. And, J.D. ran for Senate a couple of years ago. I was the first. I mean, he's a friend of mine. We have many things in common, including our family history. Our families both come from the same hillbilly town in Kentucky. They both came to Indiana and Ohio at the same time, same working class, blue collar background. I think both of us, J.D. Vance wrote the book and became famous. It wasn't a political book, but it explained a lot about people like his family and my family, the forgotten people of America that that Washington had completely ignored for years, and it made JD famous, but he wasn't a politician. He wasn't a political figure, and he's explained himself, the critical things they said about Donald Trump, just like I was a Trump skeptic back in 2016.
A lot of Republicans were.
When Donald Trump went to the White House, he kept his word on everything that he said he would do. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. And then, I became every time they went after him, the Russian collusion hoax, the impeachments, the impeachments are what made me the biggest Donald Trump supporter, because I saw what the Democrats were trying to do to destroy this man, just because he was effective. And J.D. Vance will tell you the exact same thing, that when you get up close and get to know Donald Trump personally like I do, you know that this man is the toughest man you've ever met in your life. You saw that on full display on Saturday, that powerful, iconic moment that's going to live in history books for generations to come. A man that gets knocked down, but every time he gets knocked down, he stands back up and puts his fist in the air, even when he's shot at in the scariest moment of his life. I mean, this guy is truly the type of tough man that we need in the White House to stare down Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and our biggest enemies around the globe, because then they'll know that America is back in charge.
Now, you're on stage, Congressman, because you're running for Senate. Obviously, you're an ally of President Trump. You were there through the trials and tribulations there, and you're running for Senate. You gave your pitch for Senate. I wanted to give you a few moments here to give everybody the pitch. It wasn't just for the Indiana delegation that was in attendance, but it was for America, because this is obviously going to be a big deal going forward. And I want to just take some time, tell everybody who's listening right now in Indiana why they should vote for Jim Banks for Senate. What is it you're going to bring to the U.S. Senate that the U.S. Senate is missing right now?
Yeah, like you started out saying before, I mean, there are way too many go-along to get along Republicans, especially in the United States Senate. And if we're going to save this country, Donald Trump needs backup in the Senate, people that are going to fight for him and his agenda to put the hardworking men and women of this country first, ahead of the interests of foreign countries and the interests of Wall Street and the elites in this country. That's everything that's wrong with America and why our country is in the shape that it's in today. So he needs backup. He knows Donald Trump endorsed me a long time ago because he knows I have backbone and I'm going to have his back, and we're going to get things done when we win the White House, win the majority in the Senate, and grow the House majority in November. Indiana's got a big role to play in all of that. Donald Trump loves Indiana, and we're going to play a big role in getting this country back on track, and I'm very, very honored and humbled to be a part of it.
As people start activating for the election, it usually happens right around convention time, looking to maybe donate, looking to volunteer. How can they do that for your Senate campaign?
Easy. Go to banksforsenate.com and get involved today.
All right. Congressman Banks, we do appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Banks, representing Indiana's 3rd District, also current U.S. Senate candidate for the state of Indiana, gave a good speech over at the RNC. Was well received. The line about no more wimpy Republicans went a bit viral that day among conservatives. We got more coming up. You're tuned in to The Burning Truth.
Banned from Facebook for life. You can follow Casey on X, on Truth Social, Rumble, and btmedia.news. You're listening to Casey Hendrickson and The Burning Truth. 95.3 MNC.
Podcasts by Federated Media.